My beloved child, I see the pressure that tightens around your chest at night, the invisible hands that seem to push against your progress, the fatigue that lingers even when you sleep, and the sharp sense that you have been singled out by opposition. I know the questions you do not voice, the flare of fear when a new wave hits before the last has passed, the confusion when you wonder if blessing has made you a target. I know you more intimately than you know yourself, and I do not look at you through the lens of your fears or your failures. Hear me now. Let this be the first truth that steadies you. My beloved child, I did not bring you this far to abandon you now. You are not standing in proof of my distance. You are standing at a doorway I have prepared. This very moment with the noise and the pressure is not exile from me. It is the threshold of my shelter. For it is written, "He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. You will say of me, you are my refuge and my fortress, my God in whom I trust." Psalm 91 verses 1-2. I am not an idea, I am not a memory. I am defense, present and active, a covering that breathes over you when the heat intensifies, a shade at your right hand. Psalm 121:5. My beloved child, I did not bring you this far to abandon you now. The enemy has grown anxious because my blessing on you is not a passive kindness. It is a living boundary, a favor that builds walls and opens gates, a protection that refuses to hand you over. Do you wonder why the accusations fly louder when you take a step forward? It is because when I bless, I also hedge, and what is hedged frustrates the thief. For it is written, "No weapon formed against you shall prosper, and every tongue that rises against you in judgment you shall condemn." This is your heritage from me, Isaiah 54:17. For it is written, "Have I not set a hedge around you and all you have?" Job 1:10. The enemy becomes nervous not because you are strong in yourself, but because my blessing upon you carries protection, favor, and boundaries that I myself enforce. Do not think I am waiting for you to become perfect before I cover you. I am here now. I am near in the breath you draw. I am the whisper that steadies your trembling hands. For it is written, "I will never leave you nor forsake you." Hebrews 13:5. Even though you walk through the valley of the shadow of death, you will fear no evil, for I am with you. Psalm 23:4. My beloved child, I did not bring you this far to abandon you now. I do not force you, for love does not coerce. I gently place before you an invitation. Come under my shelter now. Open your heart to me. Let your yes become the key that turns the inner lock. For it is written, "Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If you hear my voice and open the door, I will come into you and dine with you, and you with me." Revelation 3:20. You may continue as you have been, bracing yourself against each wave alone, or you may step beneath my outstretched wings and let my presence redefine the battle over you. Say to me, even with a trembling voice, "You are my refuge," and watch how fear begins to lose its argument. Take this into your breath. I am not distant. I am defense. I am not waiting on the other side of your breakthrough. I am guarding you in the middle of your storm. My beloved child, I did not bring you this far to abandon you now. Come under my shelter and let this doorway become your dwelling. My beloved child, listen closely. The doorway you are searching for is not hidden in tomorrow's schedule, not buried beneath a mountain of changed circumstances, not locked behind someone else's decision. The doorway is within you, quiet, near, reachable in this very breath. You keep looking outward for a sign that the waves will still, and I keep knocking inward, asking you to choose me before the sea turns to glass. Your protection does not wait on the storm to bow. Your protection begins when your heart opens. For it is written, Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If you hear my voice and open the door, I will come into you and dine with you, and you with me. Revelation 3:20. I do not force you, for love does not coerce. I place before you an invitation. I am not far, and the handle is on your side. Do not say, when I am stronger, when the pressure lifts, when I am less tired, then I will find you. Say rather, today, here within this very fatigue, I will open. For it is written, today, if you hear his voice, do not harden your hearts. Hebrews 3:15. There are two paths before you now. You may continue to carry this alone, rehearsing every what-if until your thoughts grow heavy, or you may step beneath my shadow and let my word, not your fear, tell you what is true. Understand this with simplicity and strength. The first battleground of protection is your interpretation. Not every surge of adrenaline is wisdom. Not every imagination of disaster is prophecy. The enemy traffics in suggestions, in half-seen shapes that magnify themselves within an unguarded mind. So I teach you to guard what is dearest, for it is written, guard your heart above all else, for from it flow the springs of life. Proverbs 4:23. For it is written, take every thought captive to the obedience of Christ. 2 Corinthians 10:5. When panic rushes to claim your inner room, do not hand it the keys. Stand in the doorway and say, only truth may live here. My beloved child, surrender the theater of your imagination to me. Let me be Lord not only of your outward steps, but of your inward movies, the reels that replay worst-case endings, the scripts that cast you as abandoned, the monologues that accuse you of being unprotected. Offer me your lens as well as your life. Set your mind on things above, not on things on the earth. Colossians 3:2. As you do, the peace that I give will not be decoration. It will be a guard standing watch at your heart and mind. For it is written, the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. Philippians 4:7. Do you see? Peace is not passivity. Peace is my sentry within you. Hear my gentle binary now. You may continue to scan the horizon for threats, disciplining yourself into constant readiness that never rests, or you may make me your first movement. Lift your eyes to me, speak my name, and step into remembrance. You are my refuge and my fortress, my God in whom I trust. Psalm 91:2. You may continue to measure your safety by headlines and voices that have not died for you, or you may dwell under my shadow and let me measure your safety by my covenant. Choose your dwelling, and your dwelling will shape your days. You ask me, how do I trust your protection when I feel targeted, when exhaustion yawns like a pit in front of me? I answer you, by opening the inner door again and again, even when your hands shake, by choosing to live the words I have spoken, not to admire them at a distance, by letting Psalm 91 become your address, not your wall art. For it is written, he who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. Psalm 91 verse 1. Dwelling is decision. Decision is worship. Worship is alignment, and alignment is defense. Practice this with me now. Breathe, and in your breath say, Lord Jesus, I open. Say, Father, here is my racing mind. I place it under your authority. Say, Holy Spirit, reign over my interpretations. Rename what fear has mislabeled. This is not theatrics. This is the key turning in the inner lock. When you open, I enter. When I enter, I anchor. When I anchor, the winds lose their argument over you. Let me teach you the posture that refuses panic its throne. When the first rumor of trouble arrives at your threshold, pause instead of spiraling. Whisper my name instead of drafting your own verdicts. Answer the whisper with what is written instead of what is worried. For it is written, You keep him in perfect peace whose mind is stayed on you because he trusts in you. Isaiah 26:3. Staying your mind on me is not denial of danger, it is denial of danger's authority to define you. My beloved child, I am nearer than your fears and stronger than your exhaustion. You do not need to wait for a sign outside to choose a refuge inside. You can turn the handle while the hallway still echoes with accusation. You can step into my shadow while the sun still blazes. You can dine with me while enemies mutter at the windows, and I will set a table before you in the presence of your adversaries. Psalm 23:5. This is not fantasy. This is fellowship, and fellowship is a fortress the enemy cannot breach. So choose now. Choose with a whispered yes, with an unclenched jaw, with a heart that decides again and again to make me home. You may continue as you have been, or you may dwell. You may rehearse fear's script, or you may rehearse my word. You may harden and carry, or you may open and be carried. I stand at the threshold, patient, gentle, and full of hope. Open to me, and let me prove that my blessing does not merely enrich, it defends. For as we walk together through Psalm 91, I will unfold each promise like a door within a door, until you know by experience what you have heard by report, that to dwell with me is to live kept, guarded, covered, and at peace, even when arrows fly by day and shadows move by night. Return to the doorway within, and let your yes become your shelter. My beloved child, listen as I speak one line slowly, not as a slogan, but as a key you can feel in your hand. For it is written, "He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty." Psalm 91:1. Dwell, abide, remain. This is not the language of visitation. This is the language of residence. Dwell, make this your address. Abide, stay when the weather changes. Remain, refuse eviction by fear. You have treated my promises like rooms you tour on special days, but I gave you a house to live in. Psalm 91 is not a poem to admire, it is a place to live. It is architecture for your inner life, a shelter designed for storm and sun, for night noises and noonday arrows alike. You do not rent this refuge by performance, you inherit it by relationship. I am not inviting you into a schedule. I am inviting you into my shadow. What is the secret place? It is not a far monastery or a correct tone in prayer. It is the nearness where your heart says, "You are my refuge," and means it. It is the room within where you let me be the loudest voice. It is the table where I break fear's breadline and feed you with my presence. It is intimacy, not invisibility, closeness, not camouflage. The secret place is secret because it is inside you, where I and you meet without spectators. For it is written, "Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If you hear my voice and open the door, I will come into you and dine with you, and you with me." Revelation 3:20. Do you see? The secret place opens from the inside. And what is the shadow of the Almighty? It is the evidence of nearness. Shadows do not cover from a distance. They fall upon the ones who stand close. To abide under my shadow is to live within arm's reach of my heart, to let my presence become your weather, your climate, your atmosphere. For it is written, "How precious is my steadfast love. You take refuge in the shadow of my wings." Psalm 36:7. When I cover you, I do more than cool your skin. I darken the sun that accuses you, and I break the glare that blinds your discernment. My shadow does not shrink your life, it settles it. My beloved child, you have felt like an exile, watching safety from the other side of a window, telling yourself you have been pushed outside by your past, your fatigue, your failures. Hear me, that exile is a lie. You think you are outside, yet I have been calling you inward all along. The door is not across a desert you cannot cross. The door is within one decision you can make again and again. For it is written, your life is hidden with Christ in God, Colossians 3:3. Hidden, not homeless, covered, not cast out. When exhaustion floods you, do not treat it as proof you are failing me. Treat it as a bell summoning you to dwell. Fatigue often signals that you have been fighting as if you were alone. Let it become the holy cue to lay down the armor you built from your anxieties and to put on what I provide. Come out of the high-gear mind that plans, scans, and panics, and enter the steady cadence of abiding. For it is written, come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, and you will find rest for your souls. Matthew 11:28-29. Rest is not withdrawal from battle. It is the way you fight from within my fortress. You ask me, how do I live there and not just visit? Practice staying. Turn admiration into habitation. When a fearful thought knocks, answer from the inside of the promise, not from the porch of your feelings. Say, this is my address. Begin your day by acknowledging where you live. Under your shadow. Return at noon, under your shadow. Lay your head down at night, under your shadow, for it is written, abide in me and I in you. John 15:4. Abiding is not a stunt you perform. It is a continuity you choose. Do not measure abiding by a rush of emotion. Sometimes you will feel the quiet warmth of my nearness. Sometimes you will feel only the decision to remain. Both are faithful. I am faithful when you sense me, and I am faithful when you only say yes with dry lips. I do not abandon you when your endurance thins. I draw closer, for it is written, in the day of trouble I will conceal you in my shelter. I will hide you in the secret place of my tent and set you high upon a rock. Psalm 27:5. Concealed does not mean forgotten. It means preserved. Let me confront the narrative that keeps you pacing the hallway outside the room I have prepared. You have said, when I am less exhausted, I will dwell. When I feel less targeted, I will trust. Yet dwelling is what drains the panic, and trusting is what blinds the targeting sights of the enemy. Do not barter with fatigue. Bring it into my presence. Lay it down on the threshold like a heavy coat, and step in unburdened. I receive you now, not later. I receive you as mine. You are not alone. You are not unprotected. You are mine. Say it with me until it rings truer than the headlines. For it is written, I will never leave you, nor forsake you. Hebrews 13:5. For it is written, even though you walk through the valley of the shadow of death, you will fear no evil, for I am with you. Psalm 23:4. My with you is your within me. My presence is not a cameo, it is your climate. My beloved child, do not treat my word like a museum where you whisper and keep your hands behind your back. Touch it, sit in it, put your feet on its floor, hang your coat on its promise, cook your prayers in its kitchen, sleep beneath its roof, live here. When arrows fly by day, let the thrum of my heart be the sound you heed. When terrors creep at night, let my covering reframe the dark, for it is written, you will not be afraid of the terror by night, nor of the arrow that flies by day. Psalm 91:5. This courage does not come from your personality, it comes from your address. I am not grading you on how beautifully you visit. I am guarding you as you learn to dwell. I do not force you, but I gently place before you an invitation. Remain with me. Open the inner door again and again and call my promises home. Let Psalm 91 be more than ink. Let it be oxygen. Breathe it when the news scrolls, when the email pings, when your body trembles. And as you breathe, remember this refrain I sing over you. You are not alone. You are not unprotected. You are mine. My beloved child, I see the late-night spirals, the rehearsed catastrophes, the quiet courtroom in your mind where accusation serves as judge and jury. I know how a single headline becomes a hurricane inside you, how an unfinished task turns into a verdict about your worth, how a fleeting shadow on the wall becomes a story of certain loss. Hear me, the battle you feel pressing is real, but the field where it rages first is within. The narratives, the interpretations, the whispers that seek to rename you. Do not mistake those whispers for your own voice. Externalize them. Name them as pressure from an adversary, not as the truth of who you are. For it is written, "The accuser of the brothers and sisters accuses day and night." Revelation 12:10. Yet hear also what I say in answer. There is therefore now no condemnation for those who are in Christ Jesus. Romans 8:1. Condemnation is not my language to you. It is a foreign tongue at your threshold. You are not wrestling against people, not even against the version of yourself you fear you might be. Do not swing at shadows and call it wisdom, for it is written, "We do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against rulers, authorities, the cosmic powers over this present darkness, against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly places." Ephesians 6:12. Do you see? The pressure is personal, but the enemy is not the person. The battle is mental, but the enemy is not your mind. Your mind is territory I have marked as mine. Your thoughts are rooms I intend to fill with light. I am not here to shame your struggle. I am here to arm you within it. I give you a language to answer what hunts in whispers. When the enemy speaks, you need not debate him. When anxiety builds a case, you need not match it argument for argument. You answer as my son answered in his wilderness, with the simple, strong blade of my word. For it is written, "Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds from the mouth of God." Matthew 4:4. For it is written, "You shall not put the Lord your God to the test." Matthew 4:7. For it is written, "You shall worship the Lord your God, and him only shall you serve." Matthew 4:10. 3 whispers, 3 answers, and the tempter left him. The sword of the Spirit is the word of God. Ephesians 6:17. I place that sword in your hand now, not as decor, but as defense. Begin here. When a thought arrives at the door of your mind, pause and ask, "Whose messenger is this?" Do not let every knock become a tenant. Stand in the doorway of your inner room as one who belongs to me. For it is written, "Guard your heart above all else, for from it flow the springs of life." Proverbs 4:23. Then bring the thought under arrest if it rebels. For it is written, "Take every thought captive to obey Christ, casting down arguments and every proud thing raised against the knowledge of God." 2 Corinthians 10:5. You are not at the mercy of your thoughts. You are a steward of your thought life. Stewardship looks like noticing, naming, and then answering with truth. Let me show you how. When fear whispers, you are exposed. No one will cover you. Answer, for it is written, "He shall cover me with his feathers, and under his wings I will take refuge. His truth shall be my shield and buckler." Psalm 91:4. When night terrors breathe, this darkness owns your sleep. Answer, for it is written, "You shall not be afraid of the terror by night." Psalm 91:5. And when I lie down, I will not be afraid. When I lie down, my sleep will be sweet. Proverbs 3:24. When accusation hisses, you always fail. Respond, for it is written, "He who began a good work in me will carry it on to completion." Philippians 1:6. When abandonment taunts, you are on your own. Declare, for it is written, "I will never leave you nor forsake you." Hebrews 13:5. When shame claims, you are defined by your past. Reply, for it is written, "If anyone is in Christ, he is a new creation. The old has passed away. Behold, the new has come." 2 Corinthians 5:17. When danger screams headlines into your chest, confess, for it is written, "He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, you are my refuge and my fortress, my God, in whom I trust." Psalm 91, verses 1-2. Do not wait for courage to rise before you speak. Speech is a doorway. Truth spoken ushers courage in. Speak out loud when you can, whisper when you must. The atmosphere hears and your own heart remembers, for it is written, "Faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the word of Christ." Romans 10:17. Your feelings are not the final arbiter of reality. My word is. Place my word on your tongue, and you will find your emotions being led rather than leading. Understand how this ties to your dwelling. The secret place is where lies lose oxygen. When you abide under my shadow, deceptive narratives cannot find fresh air. They suffocate under truth. My presence is pressure that presses back. My word is weight that tips the scales. For it is written, "You will know the truth, and the truth will set you free." John 8:32. Freedom does not float to you on the breeze of good vibes. It lands with the gravity of my voice. This is why I call you to remain, to abide, to let Psalm 91 become your atmosphere. In that atmosphere, fear cannot spread its wings. Clothe yourself for this battle with what I provide, for it is written, "Put on the whole armor of God, that you may be able to stand against the schemes of the devil." Ephesians 6:11. Put on the helmet of salvation to guard the borders of your mind. Ephesians 6:17. Fasten on the belt of truth around your interpretations. Ephesians 6:14. Lift the shield of faith, with which you can extinguish all the flaming darts of the evil one. Ephesians 6:16. None of these are ornaments for quiet days. They are instruments for contested ones. Do you see? I am not sending you into battle undressed. I am dressing you in what defeats. Practice this discipline as a rhythm, not a stunt. Begin your morning by establishing authority in your inner room. Lord, your word governs my thoughts today. When a surprise threatens your peace, pause, place your hand upon your heart, and return to your address. Under your shadow. Ask me for the verse you need, and I will bring to remembrance what I have spoken. John 14:26. If you do not yet know the words by heart, place them where your eyes will find them, on mirrors, on phones, on door frames. Let your world become a gallery of counterspeech until your mind recognizes home. Do not be discouraged if the whispers return. The enemy is persistent, but he is not victorious. Resist him steadfast in the faith. For it is written, "Submit yourselves therefore to God. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you." James 4:7. He flees not from volume, but from authority, and authority rests on my word, wielded by a heart that dwells. This is not performance, this is partnership. This is not denial, this is dominion. My beloved child, I am training your ear to discern, your tongue to answer, your mind to dwell. I am not impatient with your process. I walk every hallway of your thought life with you, turning on lights one room at a time, replacing the scripts that tormented you with songs that sustain you. For it is written, "Be transformed by the renewing of your mind." Romans 12:2. Renewal is warfare and worship braided together, you choosing me in thought after thought until peace takes up permanent residence. So when the enemy whispers tonight, do not pace. Open, do not argue, answer. Do not evacuate your heart, inhabit it with me. Say it simply, say it steadily, and watch the storm within you bow. For it is written. And as you speak, feel my shadow settle. Feel my truth lift its shield. Feel the quiet sentry of peace take its post. The secret place is not fragile. It holds. And here, in this dwelling, you are not powerless in your mind. You are covered, you are kept, you are mine. My beloved child, now let me take you by the hand and walk you line by line through a promise that is not fragile ink but forged protection. For it is written, "Surely I will deliver you from the snare of the fowler and from the deadly pestilence. I will cover you with my feathers, and under my wings you will find refuge. My truth will be your shield and buckler. You will not be afraid of the terror by night, nor of the arrow that flies by day, nor of the pestilence that stalks in darkness, nor of the destruction that lays waste at noonday." Psalm 91, 3-6. Hear my voice inside these words. This is my active defense speaking over you. The snare of the fowler is a trap designed for the unsuspecting, baited to exploit instinct, hidden where feet will fall without thought. Some snares are visible, a manipulative voice, a workplace plot, a friendly face with a crooked intent. Others are woven into patterns, cycles that keep repeating, sabotages that look like your own hand but started with a lie whispered long ago, habits that promise relief but collect attacks in shame. Still others are invisible until they spring, paper-thin agreements you made with fear in a tired hour, assumptions about yourself that limit your steps, vows you never meant to swear but which now tighten when you try to rise. Hear me. I see the wire before your ankle feels it. I discern the bait before your hunger notices it. What you did not see coming did not catch me by surprise, for it is written, "We are not ignorant of his schemes," 2 Corinthians 2:11. I know you more intimately than you know yourself. I know what was said against you and what you never saw coming. So I speak deliverance, not just comfort. I do not merely console a trapped bird, I break the trap. For it is written, "We have escaped like a bird from the snare of the fowlers. The snare is broken and we have escaped." Psalm 124:7. I will deliver you from the setup in a conversation that sought to corner you. I will deliver you from the charm that tried to sell you a gilded cage. I will deliver you from repeating dramas that always end with your peace as the sacrifice. And I will deliver you from internal loops that make you doom your own beginnings. Deliverance means I intervene. It means my hand enters the mechanics of what held you and renders it unable to hold you again. Do you see? My blessing includes active defense. Then I speak to pestilence, deadly, unseen, spreading harm by contact. Yes, I cover you in times when sickness moves through cities. Yes, I am your healer, your strength, your wisdom in practical care. But hear the wider field of this word. Pestilence also names the contagion of fear, rumor, slander, and spiritual infection that seeks to travel undetected through networks of talk and screens of light. It calls the anxiety that leaps from story to story, the breathless narrative that multiplies panic like spores in the dark. Pestilence is literal and symbolic together. Harm to body, harm to society, harm to soul. I do not teach you to deny realities. I teach you to dwell under a reality greater than what stalks. My covering reaches the dark corridors where harm moves unseen. My wisdom guides your steps through crowded places and quiet feeds alike, for it is written, "No weapon that is formed against you shall prosper, and every tongue that rises against you in judgment you shall refute." This is your heritage from me, Isaiah 54:17. Do not argue with panic, abide under promise. Hear now the image I chose for you to feel safe in your bones. I cover you with my feathers. Under my wings you will find refuge. I speak to you as a parent, tender, attentive, warm. I gather you close, not to shrink your life, but to secure it. Like a mother bird spreading wings over her young against sun and hawk, I am near enough for you to feel the shelter of my heartbeat. Vulnerable places in you, your soft grief, your tired hopes, your open trust, find a home beneath my covering, and yet, in the same breath, I speak as a warrior. My truth is your shield and buckler, shield broad, absorbing the blow you were not meant to take, buckler close, maneuverable, used at tight quarters, tenderness and authority, warmth and war, readiness. I am both for you. I am not only a lap to rest in, I am a wall that moves with you. Do you see the design? When you feel small, I am near with wings. When you must stand, I furnish you with armor. For it is written, the Lord is your keeper. The Lord is your shade at your right hand. Psalm 121:5. You ask, what shall I do with the nights? Hear me answer with compassion that steadies. You will not be afraid of the terror by night. Not because night ceases to be night, but because fear ceases to be enthroned. Night terrors visit with old names, memories that wake like thieves, sounds that grow teeth in the dark, imaginations that stretch shadows into giants. I do not belittle you for the startle in your body. Startle is not sin, but I teach you a new government within. Fear may knock, but it may not reign. Invite me into the room. Speak what is written. Feel my wings settle and the sentry of peace take his post. And when day breaks, I guard you from the arrow that flies by day. Sudden emails, sharp words, decisions hurled without warning, headlines like darts meant to puncture calm. I do not promise that arrows will not fly. I promise that under my shadow they will not define your day. For it is written, when you lie down, you will not be afraid. When you lie down, your sleep will be sweet. Proverbs 3:24. For it is written, he will not be afraid of bad news. His heart is firm, trusting in the Lord. Psalm 112:7. Pause with me now, my beloved child. I do not force you, but I gently place before you an invitation. Name your snare. Not aloud if you do not wish. In the quiet chamber of your heart where I am listening. Breathe and let the trap come into focus. The manipulation that keeps tugging at you. The pattern that lowers its net over your next step. The saboteur thought that whispers, why try? Name it and place it beneath my word. For it is written, surely he will deliver me from the snare of the fowler. Make room for this holy silence, a practice of surrender where strategy once spun. Do you feel it? In the naming, its invisibility is broken. In the surrender, its control is severed. I know you more intimately than you know yourself. I know when you have walked into a snare by innocence or fatigue, when you have felt the rush of day arrows strike before you could lift a shield, when night stalkers tried to turn your bed into a courtroom. I do not shame you for being human. I fortify you for being mine. My truth will be your shield and buckler. My presence will be your atmosphere. My word will be your answer. What you didn't see coming did not catch me by surprise. My covering already accounted for it. So let this be your movement from this moment. When suspicion grows loud, run to my wings. When attack is sudden, lift my truth. When night growls, light your whisper with what is written. When day hurls, hold the shield and breathe under your shadow. Choose not to enthrone fear, even when fear insists on a crown. Choose to dwell, for it is written, he who dwells in the secret place of the Most High will abide under the shadow of the Almighty. Psalm 91:1. And as you dwell, I will deliver. I will break the trap. I will restrain the pestilence. I will steady your nights and guard your days. You are not at the mercy of unseen harm. You are held by an unseen hand, and that hand is mine. My beloved child, receive this next line of shelter like a banner over your mourning, for it is written, 1,000 may fall at your side, and 10,000 at your right hand, but it shall not come near you. Psalm 91:7. Do you hear the distinction I am making for your heart? Proximity is not participation. Near is not the same as yours. You can stand within sight of collapse and not be claimed by it. You can feel the wind of another's fall rush past your face and not be pulled over the edge. Your safety is not determined by the number of things trembling around you, but by where you choose to dwell within you. Chaos is loud, but covenant is louder. Pressure is real, but presence is realer still. When markets shake, when rumors run down corridors, when institutions groan and headlines collect names, I do not ask you to numb yourself, deny reality, or pretend that those who fall are far from you. I ask you to stand in me while you stand among them. I call you to distinguish between what touches your sight and what is permitted to touch your soul. For it is written, "When you pass through the waters, I will be with you, and through the rivers they shall not overwhelm you." Isaiah 43:2. Overwhelming may be near your feet, but it does not own your footing. The fall of many is not the measure of your future. My shadow is. You wonder, what of verse 8? How do I look upon disaster and not be broken by the looking? Hear me, for it is written, you will only look with your eyes and see the recompense of the wicked. Psalm 91:8. I give you sight that discerns without devouring you. I give you eyes that witness outcomes and yet do not absorb their poison. You will see, and yet you will remain. You will observe, and yet you will not be consumed. This is not permission to grow cold. It is permission to stand clear. I refine your vision so that compassion can flow without fear being enthroned. I teach you to read your times without marrying their panic. Discernment is a gift of dwelling. Wisdom that keeps you from entanglement while your heart remains soft, interceding, present. Now hear the condition that is not a cage, but a key. For it is written, because you have made the Lord your dwelling place, the Most High, who is my refuge, no evil shall befall you, no plague come near your tent. Psalm 91:9-10. Because you have made, not because you have performed, not because you have never staggered, because you have chosen a residence. This is not perfection. This is address. This is the decision you made at dawn and can make again at noon. The choice you renew at night when tiredness tells you to move out. Do not think I am waiting for you to become perfect before I protect you. I am your refuge now, and dwelling is how you let protection become your atmosphere. Return again and again, and you will find that again is the rhythm of grace, not the proof of failure. Shame tells you you were almost faithful, and then slams a verdict on your heart, as if your missteps void my covering. Hear me cut that lie from your shoulders. I will not hand you over, for it is written, I shall not die, but live, and declare the works of the Lord. The Lord has disciplined me severely, but he has not given me over to death. Psalm 118:17-18. For it is written, the Lord protects him and keeps him alive. You will not give him over to the will of his enemies. Psalm 41:2. You are not protected because you never waver. You are protected because you have placed your wavering within my keeping. Do you see? Even discipline, even learning, even the ache of growth unfolds inside my defense, not outside it. Let me speak to the scenes that frighten you, the meetings where decisions about many are made in rooms you cannot enter, the streets where tempers flare and crowd noise rises, the online storms that seek to drag every heart into outrage, the economies that tilt and rattle the shelves of daily life. I am not asking you to live far from people. I am asking you to live close to me among people. I do not extract you from places of need. I encase you in presence within them. Your tent is your life with me, your mind, your home, your circle. And over that tent I decree, no plague shall come near, not because the world is sterile, but because your dwelling is sanctified. For it is written, the Lord is your keeper. The Lord is your shade at your right hand. Psalm 121:5. Hear my cadence as a gentle command for your nervous system. Pause, breathe, come back under my shadow again. Put your hand over your heart and return your address to your lips. Under your wings, in your refuge, within your word. For it is written, abide in me and I in you. John 15:4. As you re-enter, watch how the same sights lose their power to name you. Watch how the panic in the air cannot root in a heart already occupied. This is how 1,000 may fall at your side and 10,000 at your right hand, while you stand steady, not by bravado, but by belonging. Today, if you hear my voice, do not harden your heart. Hebrews 3:15. Soften and step back inside. Let compassion move you to pray, to serve, to steady others, but do not let fear move in as a tenant. Your safety is not determined by the collapse around you, but by where you choose to dwell. Choose me now. Choose me again at midday. Choose me when the night news runs its litany. I will hold you fast, for it is written, I will never leave you nor forsake you. Hebrews 13:5. And as you abide, you will look and not be lost. You will stand and not be handed over. You will dwell and discover that my shadow is enough. My beloved child, let me widen the horizon of your comfort and show you the help already set in motion over your path. For it is written, He will command His angels concerning you, to guard you in all your ways. On their hands they will bear you up, lest you strike your foot against a stone. Psalm 91:11-12. Hear the firmness in that word, command, not suggestion, not wish. I have issued orders in your favor, and my servants mighty in strength. Do my word, obeying the voice of my word. Psalm 103:20. This is not poetry without substance. This is administration from my throne, applied to your ordinary streets and your hidden stairs, to your commutes and conversations, to the desk where you decide and the doorway where you pause. In all your ways, when you feel holy and when you feel hurried, when you are clear and when you are clouded, I assign guardianship, not to make you careless, but to make you kept. You have felt outnumbered by statistics, by stories, by the sheer velocity of bad reports, yet I ask you to look again with the eyes of your heart. Do you remember the morning when Elisha's servant woke, saw the city surrounded and folded into fear? And Elisha prayed, O Lord, open his eyes that he may see, for it is written, The Lord opened the servant's eyes, and he saw, and behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire all around Elisha. 2 Kings 6:16-17. Those who were with them were more than those who were against them. Do you see? The facts on the ground were not denied. They were reframed by a truer count. I say to you now, those who are with you are more. You do not walk into rooms alone. You do not step into difficult days unaccompanied. Unseen help has already been commanded over your path. Let me speak to the fear of misstep, to the quiet dread that a single mistake will unravel everything. I know the way you second-guess every decision, the way your heart scans for stones that could catch your foot. Hear me answer with gentleness and strength. I am not training you to test me with stunts. I am teaching you to trust me in your steps. For it is written, You shall not put the Lord your God to the test. Matthew 4:7. And yet it is also written, The Lord will be your confidence and will keep your foot from being caught. Proverbs 3:26. It is written, He will not let your foot be moved. He who keeps you will not slumber. Psalm 121:3. I am not indifferent to your pathways. I instruct you and teach you in the way you should go. I will counsel you with my eye upon you. Psalm 32:8. And when you hesitate at the intersection, you will hear a word behind you saying, This is the way, walk in it. Isaiah 30:21. Angels keep watch, and my spirit guides within, Together they form a cord of guidance and guard. There are days when you will only later discover how near a harm came and how gently you were borne up. A delay that irritated you spared you. A thought that rose like a quiet caution redirected you. A friend's unexpected text interrupted a rush toward an unwise yes. This is how bearing up often feels. Ordinary mercies threaded through your hours until your feet end the day, unbruised by what you never even knew threatened them. And even if you stumble, hear my covenant voice cut through fatalism. Though he falls, he shall not be hurled headlong, for the Lord upholds his hand. Psalm 37:23-24. What seems like a misstep does not become a freefall under my surveillance. I am not waiting to accuse. I am present to uphold. My beloved child, release the superstition that you are one decision away from doom. You are one decision away, always, from dwelling, and dwelling brings defense. Now receive the authority I have given you for what comes with teeth and what comes with fangs disguised. For it is written, you will tread on the lion and the serpent. The young lion and the dragon you will trample underfoot. Psalm 91:13. The lion roars to intimidate. The serpent whispers to deceive. One tries to freeze you with fear. The other tries to bend you with lies. I grant you grace for both confrontations. For it is written, your adversary the devil prowls around like a roaring lion, seeking someone to devour. Resist him, firm in your faith. 1 Peter 5:8-9. And again it is written, behold, I have given you authority to tread on serpents and scorpions, and over all the power of the enemy, and nothing shall by any means hurt you. Luke 10:19. Authority does not feel like noise. It feels like a settled yes to what I say, and a settled no to what exalts itself against it. You will not merely survive intimidation and deception. You will place them under your feet, for it is written, the God of peace will soon crush Satan under your feet. Romans 16:20. Peace, not panic, becomes your crushing weight. Understand how angels and authority work together with your alignment, not your anxiety. For it is written, put on the whole armor of God, that you may be able to stand against the schemes of the devil. Ephesians 6:11. This armor is not panic dressing. It is peace dressing. It is truth around your waist so that deceptions have nowhere to latch. Ephesians 6:14. It is the breastplate of righteousness so that accusation finds no exposed heart. Ephesians 6:14. It is the shoes of the gospel of peace so that your feet, guarded by angels, also walk with traction in slippery places. Ephesians 6:15. It is the shield of faith to quench the arrows you do see, and the sword of the Spirit to answer the whispers you do not. Ephesians 6:16-17. Angels hearken to the voice of my word, and your armor is agreement with that word, worn, not waved. When you stand clothed in what I provide, unseen reinforcements flank your stance, and after you have done all, you stand. Ephesians 6:13. I do not force you, but I place before you this invitation of vision. Ask me to open your eyes. Pray as Elisha prayed for his servant, Lord, open my eyes to the more. Ask, and I will show you how I have surrounded your home, your travels, your meetings, your midnights with custody that does not sleep. And when fear insists on statistics, answer with what is written. When deception flexes clever arguments, answer with what is written. When intimidation raises its volume, lower your shoulders. Breathe under my shadow and let peace do the crushing work. You are not outnumbered. You are not wandering unguarded. You are not approaching a cliff with no hand to hold. My beloved child, I have commanded. Help you cannot see is already moving. So walk, slow when you need, swift when I lead, steady in either pace, and let your inner voice keep time with mine. Under your wings, with your word in your armor. Your steps will be kept. Your feet will not be caught. And where lions roar and serpents coil, you will remember whose shadow you carry, and whose orders go before you, and you will pass through as one kept, one covered, one who dwells. My beloved child, now come closer and hear the vow that I myself speak over those who cling to me, for it is written, because he has set his love upon me, therefore I will deliver him. I will set him on high, because he has known my name. He shall call upon me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will rescue him and honor him. With long life I will satisfy him and show him my salvation. Psalm 91:14-16. Let these lines settle into you like anchors. This is not a negotiation. This is not a contract to be maintained by your flawless performance. This is covenant, my heart binding my defense to your love, your attachment, your choosing of me as your dwelling. You ask me, what does it mean to set my love on you? Hear me answer with gentleness and clarity. It is the reach of your heart when circumstances cannot be controlled. It is the decision to cling when you cannot calculate. It is trust expressed as attachment, not achievement. Love set is love stayed, stayed through pressure, stayed through questions, stayed through nights that feel longer than they should. I do not force you, but I gently place before you an invitation. Attach your heart to me again, right now, without delay. Today, if you hear my voice, do not harden your heart. Hebrews 3:15. Your clinging is not currency to purchase protection. It is the key that keeps you within the house, where protection already waits. Because you have set your love on me, I will deliver you. Hear the certainty. I hear you. I am with you. I will deliver you. Deliverance is not vague relief. It is my hand entering your story with outcome, for it is written, call upon me in the day of trouble. I will deliver you, and you shall glorify me. Psalm 50:15. You will not be handed over to a fate that mocks your faith. You will not be left to the mercy of what schemes against you. I break traps, I silence accusations, I unthread plots, I deliver. Then I say, I will set you on high because you have known my name. Knowing my name is not mere vocabulary. It is refuge experience, history written into your bones. For it is written, the name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous run to it and are safe. Proverbs 18:10. When you whisper my name, you are not sending up a flare hoping to be noticed. You are stepping into a fortress where dignity replaces shame and stability displaces the trembling that once ruled your core. I set you on high, not to detach you from compassion, but to detach you from condemnation. For it is written, there is therefore now no condemnation for those who are in Christ Jesus. Romans 8:1. I lift you into a vantage where storms are seen in their scale and cannot name your identity. He shall call upon me, and I will answer him. Do you wonder if your voice breaks through? I answer before cynicism can convince you otherwise. For it is written, before they call, I will answer. While they are yet speaking, I will hear. Isaiah 65:24. Do not measure my nearness by goosebumps or the speed of the visible shift. Measure it by my pledge. I answer in wisdom, in timing, in ways that rescue not only your moment, but your story. I answer by guiding you into what will keep you later, not just soothe you now. I answer, I will be with him in trouble. Hear me emphasize this because shame and fear try to erase it. I do not abandon you in the conflict and then return to applaud you after you win. I am with you in the middle, in the thick, in the heat. For it is written, when you pass through the waters, I will be with you. When you walk through fire, you shall not be burned. Isaiah 43:2. Presence is my first promise. Outcome is my second. I come into the trouble, then I lead you through it. I steady your breath, then I steady your steps. You are not being punished with loneliness. You are being accompanied into victory. Do you see? Presence plus outcome, that is covenant. I will rescue him and honor him. Honor is me placing weight on your name where the world tried to make it light. Honor is my vindication where whispers attempted to write your story without me. I do not nourish your pride. I restore your dignity. For it is written, those who honor me I will honor. 1 Samuel 2:30. I honor you with doors no man can shut, with favor that does not require flattery, with reputation rebuilt on truth rather than spin. I honor you by making your life a testimony that points beyond you to me. With long life I will satisfy him and show him my salvation. Hear this not as mere extension of days, but as fullness of days, time that matches purpose, years that do not just count, but count for something eternal. I satisfy, not with endless grasping, but with a sense of enough that settles deep. And I show you my salvation, not a concept, but a person, a path, a covering that works in your body, your mind, your relationships, your calling. Salvation that rescues, heals, and restores. Salvation that holds you steady in a shaking age. For it is written, I came that they may have life and have it abundantly. John 10:10. Now let me cut the cord of transaction that still tries to bind your peace. You haven't earned this. You cannot. You are receiving this because you belong to me, and set your love on me. Identity precedes activity. Belonging precedes battle posture. I have engraved your name on the palms of my hands. Isaiah 49:16. I know your frame, your history, your hurts. I know the thoughts that sit heavy before you even find words for them. I do not look at you through the lens of your failures. I look at you through covenant love. You are loved. You are chosen. You are mine. So when whispers accuse, answer with covenant, because I have set my love on him, he will deliver me. When fatigue says, you are slipping, answer with my name as tower. When trouble intensifies, do not infer absence, invoke promise. Say it with me now in the quiet of your heart. I hear you, I am with you, I will deliver you. For it is written, I will never leave you nor forsake you. Hebrews 13:5. And again it is written, the Lord will rescue me from every evil deed and bring me safely into his heavenly kingdom. 2 Timothy 4:18. I do not force you, my beloved child, but I invite you to place your whole weight upon this vow. Choose attachment over analysis. Choose to cling. Lay your head under my wing, and let honor, answer, deliverance, and long life be the air you breathe. Because you have set your love on me, I set my defense around you, presence as your atmosphere, truth as your shield, angels at your periphery, and covenant running like fire through every promise I have spoken. Dwell in this, and watch fear lose its jurisdiction. Dwell in this, and watch how even in trouble you are not trembled apart but held together. Dwell and live. My beloved child, let me draw you beneath my wing in the very place where the pressure has been loudest. Not outside of you, but within you. I do not only defend your life, I defend your mind, because peace is part of my protection. I see the racing thoughts that run as if chased, the dread that wakes before dawn and sits heavy on the chest, the suspicion that scans every face and motive until trust feels thin, the numbness that settles like frost when you have felt targeted too long. I name these not to empower fear, but to loosen its false authority. You are not broken beyond my reach. You are not alone inside your own head. I know you more intimately than you know yourself, and I am not withdrawn from the battleground of your thoughts. I am entering it as your guard. Hear me with clarity and kindness. Not every thought is yours. Some are fiery darts that do not announce their origin, but aim to claim your agreement. For it is written, in all circumstances take up the shield of faith. with which you can extinguish all the flaming darts of the evil one. And take the helmet of salvation, Ephesians 6:16-17. And again it is written, we take every thought captive to obey Christ, 2 Corinthians 10:5. When a dart arrives disguised as your own inner voice, catastrophe predicted, shame rehearsed, accusations replayed, you are not helpless. You are not obliged to host what I did not send. Guard your heart above all else, for from it flow the springs of life. Proverbs 4:23. This is not denial, it is discernment. You are learning to distinguish between the noise of attack and the knowing of my spirit. So I invite you without shame, without fear of reprimand. Tell me what you are afraid will happen. I am not offended by your honesty. Pour out your heart before me. I am a refuge for you. Psalm 62:8. Cast all your anxieties on me because I care for you. 1 Peter 5:7. Say it plain, say it trembling if you must, but do not carry it alone in the echo chamber. Your confession is not an admission of defeat. It is a hand extended for rescue. Your tears are not evidence of failure. They are evidence of humanity resting inside my divinity. I receive your words, and I answer not as a distant evaluator, but as a present Father. Hear my heart again. I do not enter your life as a judge, but as a healer. For it is written, He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. Psalm 147:3. A bruised reed I will not break, and a faintly burning wick I will not quench. Isaiah 42:3. There is therefore now no condemnation for those who are in Christ Jesus. Romans 8:1. I restore your soul. Psalm 23:3. Restoration does not begin with your mastery of calm. It begins with your permission for me to guard what pressure tries to steal. Be transformed by the renewal of your mind. Romans 12:2. Not by punishing yourself, not by pretending, but by letting my word become the frame around every thought that seeks to enter. Let me give you the language of peace you can answer with when dread speaks. For it is written, you keep him in perfect peace whose mind is stayed on you because he trusts in you. Isaiah 26:3. Answer thus, my mind will stay, not stray. For it is written, peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you. Let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid. John 14:27. Answer thus, your peace is a gift, not a guess. For it is written, the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. Philippians 4:7. Answer thus, guard me, peace of God, stand at the door of my mind like a sentry, and when the swirl returns, do not conclude that you have failed. Simply return your mind to its station. Be still and know that I am God. Psalm 46:10. Stillness is not passivity, it is placement. Learn this holy gatekeeping, my beloved child. Not every knock on the door of your mind is a guest to be seated. Call each thought to my table and ask, who sent you? If it bows to what is written, welcome it. If it contradicts what is written, take it captive and escort it out. Meditate on my word day and night, that you may be careful to do according to all that is written in it. Joshua 1:8. Delight in my law, become like a tree planted by streams of water, that yields its fruit in its season. Its leaf does not wither. Psalm 1:2-3. Set your minds on things that are above, not on things that are on earth. Colossians 3:2. This is not escapism, this is alignment. Alignment gives you traction where anxiety once caused you to slip. And remember how I clothe you for such keeping. The helmet of salvation is not theory, it is mind covering. The shield of faith is not theater, it is impact absorption. The sword of the Spirit is not for display, it is reply. When accusation says, you are not safe, answer, for it is written, the Lord is my light and my salvation, whom shall I fear? Psalm 27:1. When foreboding says, "You are one moment away from losing everything," answer, "For it is written, surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life." Psalm 23:6. When numbness whispers, "Feel nothing, hope nothing," answer, "For it is written, I would have despaired unless I had believed that I would see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living." Psalm 27:13. These are not slogans, they are keys that lock out trespassers. Now understand why I am moving you from your interior world to your exterior spaces, from mind to home to decisions. Covering is holistic, not merely emotional. If your mind is guarded but your atmosphere is left open to constant agitation, your rest will be thin. If your inner peace is real but your choices are made outside the counsel of my word, your path will feel unstable. I mean to cover your mind, then sanctify your home and your sleep, then shepherd your decisions so that your peace is not punctured at every turn. Let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts. Let it be the umpire deciding what stays and what must be sent away. Colossians 3:15. I give to my beloved sleep. Psalm 127:2. And I will lead you in paths where your feet are kept and your timing is protected. I do not force you, but I gently place before you an invitation. Pause now and return the keys of your mental house to me. Whisper, "Lord, here I am. Guard my mind, reframe my thoughts, dwell within me." Today, if you hear my voice, do not harden your heart. Hebrews 3:15. Soften and let me be the sentry. I am not waiting for your perfection. I am offering you my peace as protection. As you receive it, we will move together to bless the space you sleep in and the rooms you live in, and then to the crossroads where you choose your steps. I am with you, within you, and around you, presence as your atmosphere, truth as your shield, peace as your guard. Breathe under my shadow. Stay and know that even here, especially here, I defend you. My beloved child, now let us turn to the rooms you inhabit. The bed where you lay your head, the doorways you cross, the halls where your footsteps echo. Lift these spaces to me and let them come under my shadow. For it is written, "He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty." Psalm 91:1. If you can, whisper, "Lord, here I am." Only a sincere whisper is enough. I do not force you, but I gently place before you an invitation. Yield your home to my presence and watch me turn the ordinary air into sanctuary. I bless your thresholds now. I bless the front door and the back door, the windows and the unseen boundaries of your dwelling. As for you and your house, let it be said that you serve me. Joshua 24:15. I set my name over your entryways, and I mark your home as a place where accusation is not hosted, where agitation is not entertained, where fear is not given a room. Let the word of Christ dwell richly in you, filling your atmosphere with psalms and hymns and spiritual songs. Colossians 3:16. I appoint peace as the governor of this house and righteousness as its law. Isaiah 60:17. I station watch at your perimeter, and I speak enough to every intruding storm that has rattled frames and rattled nerves. Now bring to me your bedroom and your bed, the pillow that remembers your tears, the blanket that knows your restlessness. I consecrate your sleep to me. Rest is not a reward for perfect days. It is a gift I give to my beloved. Psalm 127:2. Come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Matthew 11:28. I quiet you with my love and sing over you with rejoicing. Zephaniah 3:17. When you lie down, you will not be afraid. When you lie down, your sleep will be sweet. Proverbs 3:24. Receive this not as a fragile hope, but as inheritance. Your nights belong to me. I speak now against the terror that visits at dark and the cycles that revisit at 2 a.m. You will not fear the terror of the night, nor the arrow that flies by day, nor the pestilence that stalks in darkness, nor the destruction that wastes at noonday. Psalm 91:5-6. I interrupt the loops of dread that replay worst-case scenes. I silence the footsteps of anxiety that pace your hallway. I cut off the rehearsals of shame that keep court in your mind when the lights are low. Be still and know that I am God. Psalm 46:10. Stillness will become your atmosphere. Peace will stand at your doorway like a sentry. I speak to the devices and screens, to the streams of sound and image that have been allowed to pour into the evening. Wisdom now becomes your filter, discernment your gate. If you can, whisper, Lord, here I am. Set a guard over what enters my home. For it is written, I will set no worthless thing before my eyes. Psalm 101:3. And again it is written, set a guard, O Lord, over my mouth. Keep watch over the door of my lips. Psalm 141:3. Conversations in this house will be seasoned with grace. Colossians 4:6. Media intake will bow to peace. What amplifies fear will be turned down. What nourishes faith will be welcomed. I teach your hands to turn off what steals your calm and to turn toward what strengthens your trust. You are not powerless in your own home. You are a steward under my wing. I bless the dining table where words are exchanged. I bless the living room where voices rise and laughter returns. I bless the hallway where quick steps carry urgency. May they learn to carry gentleness. I bless the nursery and the study, the kitchen and the corner chair where you exhale. Let my word be as a fragrance that lingers, as light that does not flicker. The lamp of my word will light your path from room to room. Psalm 119:105. I crown your home with quiet. I crown your nights with rest. I crown your mornings with mercies new. Lamentations 3:22-23. I turn now to your family, those who share your roof, or those whose names rest in your heart, though they dwell elsewhere. Believe in the Lord Jesus, and you will be saved, you and your household. Acts 16:31. I spread my covering over your loved ones, calling them by name, drawing them by cords of loving kindness. Hosea 11:4. I hedge them in behind and before. Psalm 139:5. I guard their comings and their goings from this time forth and forevermore. Psalm 121:8. Where there has been strife, I speak reconciliation. Where there has been weariness, I speak refreshing. Where there has been confusion, I speak clarity. Let gentleness be felt. Let kindness lead. Let forgiveness reopen doors that offense has closed. My beloved child, present to me now the specific places that trouble you, that corner that feels heavy, that hour that tends to unravel you, that sound that stirs your heart into hurry. If you can, whisper, Lord, here I am, and hand it to me. Ask for wisdom, and I give it generously without finding fault. James 1:5. I will show you small adjustments that unlock large peace. Where to place a song, where to place a pause, where to place a boundary, where to place a blessing. I will teach you to anoint your threshold with prayer, to speak life over your bed, to invite me into the routine until the routine becomes a river. I assign angels now concerning this house, for it is written, the angel of the Lord encamps around those who fear him and delivers them. Psalm 34:7. I encircle your dwelling with guardianship that does not slumber. Psalm 121:3-4. They bear you up when you are fragile with fatigue. They stand post when you sleep. They keep watch against what stalks in darkness. You are not outnumbered in your own home. You are not left to self-defend with depleted strength. My presence is your perimeter. My peace is your alarm. My word is your warrant. Hear me and let faith settle. No foul narrative is allowed to write the night for you. I revoke the permissions you did not mean to grant to fear. I restore the dominion you forgot you carry when you agree with me. As you choose to dwell, I choose to cover. As you open the inner door, I open heaven's windows over your address. Today, if you hear my voice, do not harden your heart. Hebrews 3:15. Soften and rest beneath my wing. Now I seal this prayer over your home, your sleep, and your atmosphere with what cannot be shaken. For it is written, He will cover you with His feathers, and under His wings you will find refuge. His faithfulness is a shield and buckler. Psalm 91:4. For it is written, No evil shall befall you, no plague shall come near your tent. Psalm 91:10. For it is written, He will command His angels concerning you, to guard you in all your ways. Psalm 91:11. Let these declarations become the cadence of your evenings, covered, guarded, kept. Let your pillow remember peace and your walls remember worship. Let your breath slow as you surrender and your heart learn the rhythm of trust. I am with you when the sun sets and with you when it rises. I am your shade at your right hand. Psalm 121:5. Lie down now under my shadow. Sleep in the house of my presence. Awake to the day I have kept for you. Your home is mine. Your rest is my gift. Your atmosphere is under my authority. Dwell and be at peace. My beloved child, now bring me the crossroads. Bring me the papers on your desk and the messages on your phone. The calendar that is filling, the choices that keep circling in your mind when the house grows quiet. Bring me your work and the pressures within it, your relationships and the tensions or hopes that rise with them, your finances with their budgets and their gaps, your health with its treatments and timetables. Place them in my hands. I am not indifferent to the particulars. I am the God of the path, the hour, the appointment, the conversation. For it is written, I will instruct you and teach you in the way you should go. I will guide you with my eye upon you. Psalm 32:8. And again it is written, Trust in the Lord with all your heart. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will make straight your paths. Proverbs 3:5-6. I am here to guide and to guard, to counsel and to cover. Hear me and let assurance settle. Your obedience is not a leap into danger. It is a walk under my supervision. I set a lamp before your feet and light for your path. Psalm 119:105. I am the voice behind you saying, This is the way. Walk in it when you turn to the right or to the left. Isaiah 30:21. I do not send you down corridors alone to prove your strength. I keep company with you so that your strength is found in me. Take the pressure off your shoulders that says, one wrong step and everything is ruined. I am a father, not a trapmaker. I am a shepherd, not a saboteur. The steps of a good person are ordered by the Lord, and I delight in your way. Though you fall, you will not be hurled headlong, for I uphold you with my hand. Psalm 37:23-24. Do you see? Supervision is not suspicion. It is companionship with wisdom. Now I pray over your decisions and speak protection into their very hinges. For it is written, He will deliver you from the snare of the fowler and from the deadly pestilence. Psalm 91:3. I expose the baited lures that look like favor but smell like compromise. I illuminate the fine print where traps have been hidden. I reveal flattery where manipulation is at work. I show you the difference between a test that will grow you and a net that will bind you. Ask me, and I give wisdom generously without reproach. James 1:5. I do not force you, but I gently place before you an invitation. Fold every plan into prayer, and let my counsel edit what your hurry would have signed. I shut wrong doors now with kindness, even if your emotions wanted them open, and I open the right ones with authority that no one can shut. For it is written, The one who opens and no one will shut, who shuts and no one opens, says this. Revelation 3:7. I close partnerships that would thin your soul. I close investments that would siphon peace. I close romances that would fracture identity. I close pathways that lead you away from the secret place. And I open assignments aligned with your shape. I open provision attached to purpose. I open rooms where your integrity is safe and your gifts are needed. I open the way of righteousness, which is like the light of dawn, shining brighter and brighter until full day. Proverbs 4:18. Concerning your ways, I commission help you cannot see, for it is written, He will command His angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways. On their hands they will bear you up, lest you strike your foot against a stone. Psalm 91:11-12. Angels now attend your travel, roads and runways, platforms and pathways. Angels attend your appointments, interviews, negotiations, reconciliations. Angels attend your conversations, what you must say and what you must refrain from saying, when to be silent and when to be bold. Angels attend your meetings, seating you rightly, shielding you from ambush, arranging timing down to the minute. You are not outnumbered in corridors where decisions are made. You are not voiceless in rooms that attempt to define your future. I send my messengers before you to prepare the way. Malachi 3:1. I surround you with favor as with a shield. Psalm 5:12. I also set a guard under your steps to keep your foot from the unseen stone. For it is written, The Lord will be your confidence and will keep your foot from being caught. Proverbs 3:26. I steady you where haste would hurry you into a stumble. I slow you where fear would push you into a premature yes. I accelerate you where doubt would tether you to delay. I am not late, I am not early, I am right on time. In my time I make all things beautiful. Ecclesiastes 3:11. Walk with me, and even your detours will become scaffolding for wisdom. Now I speak to the courage you need to obey. Delayed obedience becomes vulnerability because it leaves doors ajar that I meant to close and keeps you outside coverings I meant to open. Do not be condemned by this. Be awakened. I do not shame you. I shepherd you. For it is written, I hasten and do not delay to keep your commandments. Psalm 119:60. And again it is written, Today, if you hear His voice, do not harden your hearts. Hebrews 3:15. Today, not in a panic, not under coercion, but under clarity and peace, say yes where I have already spoken. Small yeses stack into strong protection. Timely obedience positions you beneath angels' hands and within the ark of promise. Choose life, that you and your descendants may live. Deuteronomy 30:19. The narrow path is not the unsafe path. It is the supervised one. I bless your work now, projects, proposals, the hidden labor no one thanks you for. Commit your work to the Lord, and your thoughts will be established. Proverbs 16:3. I resolve the fog that made it hard to prioritize. I draw a circle around the one assignment that matters most today and give you grace to complete it. I bless your relationships, family, friends, partners, mentors. I sift connections so that loyalty is not confused with bondage. I add divine appointments that catalyze your growth and remove alliances that dilute your calling. I bless your finances, income streams, stewardship, generosity. I teach you to profit and lead you in the way you should go. Isaiah 48:17. I close the leak of impulse and open the flow of wisdom. I bless your health, decisions about rest, nutrition, treatment, boundaries. I lead you beside still waters and restore your soul. Psalm 23:2-3. I give you discernment between discipline and harshness, between care and control. My beloved child, whisper if you can, Lord, here I am. I yield my decisions to you. Only a sincere whisper is enough. I receive it. I cover the coming week and the next important choice with my counsel. I bring insight in the morning and confirmation in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses. 2 Corinthians 13:1. I align your calendar with your calling so that you are not perpetually rushed, but rightly paced. I set watch over your timing, no premature exposure, no missed moment. I plant you by streams so that your fruit emerges in season. Psalm 1:3. Even the pauses will be productive under my hand. Now rest under this blessing and let it be the canopy over your path. I am with you. I instruct and I shield. I go before you and I am your rear guard. Isaiah 52:12. When you pass through meetings that feel like waters, I will be with you. When you walk through fires of scrutiny, you shall not be burned. Isaiah 43:2. Let this final word for this moment settle into the marrow of your next steps. For it is written, He shall call upon me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. Psalm 91:15. Walk now, not in dread, but under supervision. Walk and watch me keep your foot from the stone. Walk and know that angels bear you up. Walk and let obedience become your shelter as much as your service. I am your guide and your guard. Dwell in me and decide from within my peace. My beloved child, now that your mind is guarded and your steps are supervised, hear me. The blessing on you is not only defense, it is assignment. My shelter is not isolation, it is preparation. I have not hidden you merely to keep you safe, but to keep you steady so you can carry my light into places where fear has been loud and hope has been thin. Do you see? The peace you receive in the secret place is portable. It is meant to travel with you into boardrooms and break rooms, into kitchens and classrooms, into conversations that feel brittle and neighborhoods that feel numb. For it is written, You are the light of the world. Let your light shine before others, so that they may see your good works and give glory to your Father who is in heaven. Matthew 5:14-16. And again it is written, Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord has risen upon you. Isaiah 61. Rise, not into striving, but into steady shining. Hear my identity over you, and let it silence the old accusations. You are loved, you are chosen, you are called by my name. Isaiah 43:1. There is therefore now no condemnation for those who are in Christ Jesus. Romans 8:1. I do not send you as a penitent trying to earn a place. I send you as a child already seated in grace. I do not define you by your weakest moment. I define you by my Son's finished work. You are my workmanship, created in Christ Jesus for good works, which I prepared beforehand that you should walk in them. Ephesians 2:10. Walk, then, not with the stiff posture of self-protection, but with the relaxed confidence of one who knows, I am with you. What once tormented you will become the place of your ministry. The very valley where you learn to breathe under pressure will be the map you hand to others who cannot yet find their way. For it is written, I comfort you in all your affliction, so that you may be able to comfort those who are in any affliction with the comfort you have received from me. 2 Corinthians 1:4. You will not preach what you haven't practiced. You will carry what I have placed in you, resilience that is tender, authority that is kind, clarity that is compassionate. The snare I broke for you will be the warning you give to another. The pestilence I kept from your tent will become the intercession you pray over a city. Your scars will not be spectacles, they will be signposts. Do not wait for circumstances to be perfect before you shine. Light was made for darkness, for it is written, The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. John 1:5. And again it is written, In the midst of a crooked and twisted generation, you shine as lights in the world. Philippians 2:15. I am not sending you naively, I am sending you wisely. Be wise as serpents and innocent as doves. Matthew 10:16. This is why I have trained your mind, ordered your steps, and assigned angels to your path. You will not walk alone. He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High abides under my shadow, even while moving through crowded places. Psalm 91:1. The place of dwelling is not merely a location, it is your posture. Abide in me, and you will bear much fruit. John 15:5. Now receive your commission in practical terms. When you enter a room, bring me with you on purpose. Whatever house you enter, first say, "Peace be to this house." Luke 10:5. Let your words be seasoned with grace. Colossians 4:6. Speak life where despair expects silence. Offer patience where hurry has ruled. Choose truth where flattery tries to buy influence. Do the small, faithful works I prepared. Listening when others rush, praying when others panic, giving when others grasp. You are not responsible for outcomes you cannot control. You are responsible to shine with what I have given you. The blessing on you carries an aroma. Gentleness under fire, courage under scrutiny, joy under burdens. These are not costumes, they are fruit. I will place you in conversations that look ordinary but are actually appointments. I will seat you beside someone who has been asking me in secret, if I still see them, and you will be my answer. I will send you into projects where excellence is rare and integrity rarer, and you will be a plumb line, not by harshness, but by steadiness. I will lead you through neighborhoods where fear has tightened every face, and your calm presence will begin to loosen the knots. My beloved child, you are not an accident in this vast world. I have engraved your name on the palms of my hands. Isaiah 49:16. I surround you with favor as with a shield. Psalm 5:12. I go before you and am your rear guard. Isaiah 52:12. You will not be handed over. Remember, your strength is not manufactured, it is received. My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. 2 Corinthians 12:9. Do not disqualify yourself because you still feel tender. Tenderness under my hand becomes a conduit for my power. Do not dismiss your light because it seems small. A candle in a cave ends the reign of total darkness. Do not fear the public pressure. 1,000 may fall at your side, 10,000 at your right hand, but it will not come near you when you dwell. Psalm 91:7. Your steadiness is your sermon. Your peace is your platform. Your integrity is your invitation. I do not force you, but I gently place before you an invitation. Stand up as light. Choose to step across this threshold from only being protected to being also sent. Today, if you hear my voice, do not harden your heart. Hebrews 3:15. Whisper if you can, Lord, here I am, shine through me. I receive that whisper. I wrap you again in my covering even as I send you. You are loved, you are chosen, you are called by my name. Go now, not out from under my wing, but under it, into the very places I have prepared. Carry peace into pressure, carry hope into heaviness, carry me. And as you go, keep dwelling. As you shine, keep abiding. As you speak, keep listening. I am with you in every step, in every room, in every assignment, your guide and your guard, your shelter and your sending. My beloved child, hear this final word and let it settle like a hand upon your shoulder. I did not bring you this far to abandon you now. What began with the opening of your inner door continues as a way of living. Dwell with me. Answer the whispers with, for it is written. Receive my covering. Walk the path I have supervised with angels already assigned, and carry the light I placed within you. You are not being sent out from under my wing. You are being sent within it. For it is written, I will never leave you, nor forsake you. Hebrews 13:5. Let this be the spine of your days and the softness of your nights. I give you a simple daily practice to keep you in the center of my defense. Each morning before the news, before the rush, say out loud, "He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty." Psalm 91:1. And when fear rises at noon or fatigue tugs at dusk, do not strive, return. Whisper, "I dwell." Breathe it until your breath remembers peace. When the enemy whispers a narrative of doom, answer him with the language I taught you, for it is written, and speak what is true. Today, if you hear my voice, do not harden your heart. Hebrews 3:15. I do not force you, but I gently place before you an invitation again and again. Choose to dwell, and you will remain defended. Now receive a final blessing of defense, wrapped around your whole life. I bless your mind with peace that guards what pressure tries to steal, for it is written, "You will keep in perfect peace the one whose mind is stayed on you, because he trusts in you." Isaiah 26:3. I quiet the looping fears and the accusations that do not belong to you. Let my faithfulness be your shield and buckler. Psalm 91:4. I bless your home with safety and atmosphere. No evil shall befall you. No plague shall come near your tent. Psalm 91:10. I appoint peace as your perimeter, worship as your weather, and the angel of the Lord to encamp around you and deliver you. Psalm 34:7. I bless your decisions with wisdom and supervision. Ask, and I give wisdom generously without reproach. James 1:5. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. In all your ways acknowledge me, and I will make straight your paths. Proverbs 3:5-6. I keep your foot from the hidden stone. I close the counterfeit and open what I have ordained. I bless your calling with courage and steadiness. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid, for I am with you wherever you go. Joshua 1:9. You will shine without striving. You will stand without hardening. You will speak without self-defending, because you dwell. And now I seal you with my covenant promise. For it is written, "Because you have set your love upon me, I will deliver you. I will set you on high, because you have known my name. You shall call upon me, and I will answer you. I will be with you in trouble. I will deliver you and honor you. With long life I will satisfy you and show you my salvation." Psalm 91:14-16. Let these words be your canopy. Let them rule your outlook more than headlines, more than rumors, more than the tremors of your own emotions. Go in peace, but do not go from my presence. Return again to the secret place, again and again, for dwelling is how you stay defended, and I will never leave you nor forsake you. Hebrews 13:5. When you wake, dwell. When you work, dwell. When you decide, dwell. When you rest, dwell. My beloved child, I am your guide and your guard, your shelter and your sending, yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Thank you for listening. If this prayer covered you, subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you can stay anchored in my word. Now rest under my shadow, rise in my strength, and keep returning to me.